All right, thanks guys. So I sent out a brief topic earlier today. We had talked about how we can support each other on yesterday's call, and one of the things that kept coming up was face-to-face invites. So does somebody have a story ready? Something that's happened recently maybe? Who would like to go first? Anybody?
I'll go.
Okay.
So recently, it's not, okay, so we were having Fit Club, and I saw two girls kind of watching from away, like I don't know how far exactly, but they were just watching in on us, kind of do our workout and stuff. So I walked up to them, and I told them about our workouts. Well, as I was walking to them, they're like, so what is this? What's going on? Is this free? And then I was like, yeah, we have free workouts here, Mondays and Wednesdays and yada, yada. And I was like, we're actually also partnered up with Herbalife, and we're some of us are health coaches with Herbalife. And then she's like, oh, that's cool. I'm like, have you heard of Herbalife before? Yada, yada. And then got their contact information. And then as soon as she texted me, I let her know about our schedule again. And I told her that we have a 5-day Eat Clean challenge. So she didn't really mention anything of that in the text when she replied, but she said that she'll come it was Wednesday, and she said she'll come Sunday to our workout. So she came Sunday, and then she got started on the 5-day Eat Clean. And so right now she's on the challenge now, but and she's already talking about like what's the full plan, etc. But that's the luckiest I've gotten with those type of face-to-face invites. But I just need really like cold face-to-face invites, like going up to somebody and like starting conversation, not just because they're like looking in on us. Like, how do you approach people? That's really what I want to get out of this call. And I'll pass it to Nico because he's next to me.
All right, cool. So I don't feel like I have a problem talking with, I guess you could say, someone who's looking in from Fit Club or going up to someone who's just doing their thing. I just, like I was saying yesterday, is I don't have an intentional time to do it. I just haven't done that yet or recently. But what I've done is, so like Natalie said, if someone is looking in from like the outside towards our Fit Club or towards something that we're doing with our group, a lot of times we think people are just going to come up to us, but it's not that they're afraid, but it's like, I guess you could kind of say they're afraid. They don't know what it is. So it's like, I don't know what that is. So it's like we, as coaches or as health coaches, right, we have to let them know what's going on. Just like, I can't remember who was saying it the other day, but it's like people want to be told what to do because we're so built on being told what to do. So like if someone's looking at us like, hey, you should come join us, or hey, you can join us. So that's something, if someone's like, I guess you could call it more of like the warm lead to where they're already interested in what you're doing. And then what we used to do, or what I was doing, it's UCF, the university is literally right down the street from us. So we would just go on the campus and we would kind of do like a survey. So I would just walk up to people and I already knew the answer. I would just ask them, hey, do you know what active nutrition is? And I knew the answer. I knew it was going to be no. And if they said yes, like I knew they were lying, but no big deal. Like I didn't want to work with them. So it didn't matter. Like just walk away. It was less haggle with me of finding out if they were serious or not. So I basically asked, hey, do you know what active nutrition is? And they'd give a face like, no, what is that? So, oh, well, cool. Hey, and this was before trial packs. This was before the 175 plan. But it was like, hey, we have free workouts. Because, again, we were selling more what Fit Club was. Hey, come to a free workout. And then the thing with that, it was just a very simple, are you working out? Do you work out on campus? Yes or no? Awesome. Hey, come check this out. It's a group. It's a community of people working out versus just going to the gym by yourself on the campus. Because they have an amazing campus on the gym and it's free. So sometimes people say, well, I have the gym here. Like, why should I go to your workout? Like, well, it's a little bit different, right? And then it's more of you're selling you, right? Come check it out. And then we would have like a video or a picture of the group. Like, oh, wow, that does look cool. And we would get their contact info and we would plug them into a Facebook page. That was probably the most successful thing to where we got a lot. That's how we grew our Fit Club, honestly, was going to the campus and saying, hey, do you know what active nutrition is? Already knowing the answer. and then kind of filling in the pieces of what their answers were back. What's cool now is now having the trial packs and having the set plans and everything like that. And we haven't done it yet, but it's very, at least what I'm thinking right now, it's going to be very simple to let people know, again, what we're doing. So those are, I guess, my tips of what we've done and what I've seen work. And then I'll pass it over to Sean.
All right, so face to face, I mean, the main thing is finding commonality with somebody. Like as soon as you see them, figuring out what it is that you're gonna, if it's like a stranger, like what's gonna draw them to you. And complimenting people is an easy way to do it. People love compliments. Oh, your shoes look so awesome. Where'd you get them from? Super easy introduction. Same thing with your clothes. Do it with the hair. If it's a guy, I don't know. I don't compliment guys, so I don't know what you would say. But with women, it's really easy because they like biceps, and so I compliment them, and they pay attention to me. In the gym, if you're approaching somebody, like for me, like if I see a guy like doing reps by himself, like on the bench press, for example, then I go spot them and then like figure out what it is that they're doing, if they have any goals, like why are you here, blah blah blah. And I really like to I like to go in like really quickly about like who I am and what I do. I like to share my results. Like when I'm in the gym, I probably share my results. Like my phone's just out and I'm like, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. Like I usually don't even work out when I get to the gym because I'm usually talking about my results. So I keep my phone out and like my results sometimes it's usually like my screensaver, but if it's not, it's like the first picture, I have like a separate thing. And so I go right into my results, how I got my results with Herbalife, and I go into the workout. And now I've been really been implementing, just talking about trials immediately, go straight into the trial programs. Like, oh, man, I got awesome results. We even have like these trial packs, like, and you can just try it out and see if you like it. So I've been doing that. Something I learned.
Okay, so if you go up to somebody, like, what do you say, like, to show them your results? Like, how do you tell them that you're a coach? Like, when I talk to people at the gym, it's like, oh yeah, we're in class, and okay, that's it. Like,
if you're in class, that would make it a little difficult. So I used to go to classes all the time, and the people that I would talk to, I would go to Zumba all the time, or I would go to just one of like the sets and reps, whatever the classes are called. And there's people that go all the time to the same classes. And so afterward, and I speak Spanish, and people are really like amazed by that. So like there's like a lot of women that, especially in Zumba, they would all like, obviously I'm the only guy in there. And so afterwards, like they would be talking in Spanish and I would just go over there, listen, and then I would respond in Spanish. And then they would look at me like, who are you? And they see my button. I started tapping, doing the button tap. And I literally would just talk to them like for 5 seconds. I'm like, hey, my name's Sean. Like, what you guys, how long you guys been coming to the gym? Oh, cool. How long are you from the area? Actually, there's another thing. It's something called Forum. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of Forum, but it's basically introductory, in a way you introduce yourself. So you get to know somebody. So you talk about their family, talk about occupation, talk about their recreation, and then motivation. So FORM. If you get those 4 things out of people, like you're gonna have a quality conversation. If you're talking about their family, what they do for a living, what they do for fun, and why they're at the gym. So I try to get that in at some point during the conversation, and yeah. So that's how I kind of put my stamp on that. Figure out how long they've been in the area, how long they go into the gym, and then I go in the form. Answer your question.
What was the third one? Family, occupation,
recreation, and then motivation. Like, why are you here? Like, why are you coming to the gym all the time? Why do you want results? Blah blah blah. And trying to think what else I do as far as talking to people. Oh, there's something I'm trying out. I haven't really tried out yet, but I made a lanyard with my results on it. And I'm just gonna start walking around with that. So I'll let you guys know how that works out. And next up, let's go, Alicia.
So I came on late, but we're talking about what we do when we just like go up to someone we don't know. and try to talk to them or get their info? Yeah? Okay. So I haven't done that yet, which is why I brought it up yesterday, because I never really knew what to say to anybody. And like I've had, people, I've like my buttons and stuff, and so I've had people come up to me because they've seen me wearing it, and
So
like,
maybe share like what point in the conversation you're getting stuck.
Okay.
Where it gets awkward.
Okay. So like they'll see like, oh, like the Get Fit Now, ask me how, like kind of thing, and they just come up to you and they're like, oh, how. So I kind of like, I'll tell them like my results and let them know about the nutrition club. This was like before the Eat Clean challenge that we were doing, so it was before I started doing all that. And then it would always be one of those things where they'd be like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then it would just kind of get like awkward, like awkward silence. They'd been like, oh yeah, if you want, like you should come down. And they're like, oh, well, and it would just kind of trail off from there. So, and I think just because I don't really know how to present it that well yet, or how to really talk about it, like I just kind of like trail off and things just kind of get lost. So I think that's where I'm stuck, is I just need like, I guess some kind of like structure, like Sean mentioned the form thing. So I think that's something I'll definitely try to use, because I've never heard that before. So I think just trying to lead in that way and then figure out what their motivation is for, why did they ask me, like how, like, they noticed the button, they saw it, and something like sparked their interest. So just trying to like run with that more. I think that's what I really need to work on. So yeah.
On the one thing on that, in the Herbalife manual, I'm sure if you can find on the website, like they tell you exactly what to say when you get a button hit. So if you just use those, like it works perfectly.
Memorize the button response questions.
Okay. Yeah, I'll look into that. No one's ever told me about that either, so.
Yeah, find it in your books.
In your head than when you say them out loud.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely practice that. Thank you guys. Awesome. So, I guess.
And just one more real quick thing on that, Alicia. It's like, whatever happens within that conversation, obviously you're gonna feel the vibe. If it's like great or there's kind of like, I'm good. Just get their contact info. Don't only give your info, because if you only give their info, like if they only got your info, it's a card, whatever, most likely it's gonna disappear. But if you have their info, all of a sudden you start creating a database, right? Whether they answer you or not, it might be 6 months from now. But if you have their number and all of a sudden they're getting an email about a challenge or email about a trial, I'm like, you know what? Let me try this out. So just make sure you always get their number or their email at least. And even if like,
or even if you just like, if you're talking about Fit Club, or if you're talking about like how you get fit, like ask them if they have Facebook or any social media. And if you post actively on them, then they'll be more likely to like really see what you're doing and feel more comfortable to message you or anything if you do have them on there, because it's more real that way. Also, just of course get their contact info, but Facebook has always been good too.
Okay, awesome. Thank you guys.
Awesome.
This helps a lot. Thank you.
Tiffany, I think you're next.
Tiffany? Okay.
Yeah, you guys are giving great answers. I'm like taking notes. So I would say that I think this is a great topic. I was just actually looking at my web earlier, like thinking about this question, because like recently with the trials, a lot of my new clients and people that I've brought into the community have been through like the trial packs and referrals and whatnot. But if I look back at like the original person who those people came through, a lot of them were people that I just met randomly. So a lot of like several people from my gym, several people, like when we were doing those 50, we did like those 50 contacts before like a week in CHYPS, and I met a lot of people, and I don't have a ton from doing, I have several from that, but not like for as many people as I talk to. I feel like the number should be a little bit higher, but a lot of times, like what I love doing is I kind of, like I like talking to strangers, but I also don't always, with this newer like way we're doing things, like I don't feel as like dependent, like I have to go out for a set amount of time to just talk to like 20 people in a day, which is kind of nice. But I do, like today actually I was getting my toes done because they looked horrible in SGS this weekend. So and the lady beside me saw my little pin, I had an Herbalife pin on, and she said, "Oh, you work for Herbalife?" And I said, "Yeah." And I started telling her about the nutrition club and like what we do. I kind of went into like the wheel. So like Alicia, I always talk about like the wheel. Basically, I say, we offer, like I always mention nutrition first, and like we teach you about balanced diet with Herbalife, and then we provide the community with like free community workouts and events at our club to support them with their goals and whatever they're going for. So I kind of go into that. And then it's funny because she actually asked the question. She goes, "So are you guys like Weight Watchers or like a gym?" Like she like asked, which is funny because Mark had mentioned those words before, and I was like, "Nah," I was like, "Not exactly." I was like, "We have pieces of what all of those things offer, but we're very unique in the sense of like the community." And I just kind of went into that. So it kind of caught me off guard. I wasn't trying to answer that exactly, except I just referred that kind of to the wheel. But I would say, Alicia, for me, like the people that when I'm looking at my web earlier, the people that I met like randomly at my gym, I basically just started conversations with people. So like one girl, like I was in the bathroom washing my hands after I worked out, and she had like a cool watch on, which I really liked. And I just started a conversation about her watch, and we talked for like several minutes about like watches and like, what workout she did. And then like it went into the conversation of like, what do you do? What do you do? And I was like, "Oh, I'm a health coach." And so I always like, as soon as people are like, "Oh, like I need help with that," like as soon as I hear something like where they're interested, I'll start asking them questions. Like I like what Sean said, but I'll start asking them questions like, what are your goals you're working on? Like I really start almost do like a mini not wellness profile, but like I really start to ask them like, "Well, what are your goals?" Because I want them to know I'm interested and that like I have valuable information that I can help support them with. So that's worked really well for me, even for people that I met like at the like on the Strand. Like there was one client from a while ago I did meet when we were doing the 50 contacts, and I met her through doing we were doing, what are they called, like a scavenger hunt. And so we were like, "Oh, I gotta find someone that's like my height," and this girl was like shorter than me, so like I just kind of made it up. But not that that's as authentic as it could be with like the invitation. But it started a really good conversation, and she led to being like a client and an ambassador. So yeah, I just like kind of like when I see someone or they like ask me a question about like Herbalife, like I just go into a conversation and kind of ask them specifically about their goals basically. And if there's not much interest, I kind of just back off. Like I don't, I let them know what we do, and if people are interested, like I'll keep talking to them. So I don't know if that helps, but I'm just trying to think back to all the conversations I've had recently. And a lot of the newer people I've had, though, I've really come through like the trials and referrals. So it's been a little bit easier than just walking up to strangers. Marisol, did you go? No.
Sorry.
Hello.
Yep, I'm the last one.
Okay.
Awesome. I have lots of notes from all the things that people are saying. My approach, what's worked well for me in the past, is, I guess, maybe more of an informal version of what Sean was talking about with form. Like I try and find a point of connection that's genuine. So like if somebody's wearing shoes I don't like, I'm not like, "Oh, hey, love your shoes." Like I try and find something that's, real. And then I also try to find something that something or someone or whatever it is that I know that can provide value to the other person. So whether that's a free workout, whether that's like, we do online challenges in my group, mega challenges. So those are like a really huge wealth of information because we do, a 30-minute, essentially nutrition class each week. Or if there's something that they're interested in, like they're looking for a real estate agent, or I know a real estate agent, whatever it is, try and find something that I can provide them. And that, for me, that makes the segue into, because Alicia, you were asking, like, how do you get the contact information? That brings the segue into, give me your phone number, much more natural than like, "Oh, hey, I like your shoes, give me your number." And then I try and just let it be organic and not be so enrolled in the outcome. So like in my head, when I set my intention for the day, I'll tell myself, I'm going to talk to 10 people today. If I don't, and I understand that's letting myself off the hook a little bit, but if I don't get 10 phone numbers out of talking to 10 people, that's fine. You know, maybe I only got 2 or maybe I only got 1, but you know, I struck up a conversation with people in the day, and the more I do that, the more natural it feels. And in a place like Vegas where community is really lacking, I find that people are a little bit more willing to, you know, to connect with you, because so many people have moved out here from who knows where, and they don't necessarily have the community. Like what Tiffany was talking about the wheel. I kind of try and ask the type of questions that helps me figure out which part of the wheel they're missing, and let them know that I'm somebody that can help them fill it in. And a lot of the times here, it's community. Like, we have a crazy amount of bodybuilders. There's like an absurd number of gyms in town, like every block, but there's no community. So I find myself going back to that part of the wheel every time. That's all I have for doing cold face-to-face. And then, my last part was, if a phone number or something like that doesn't feel organic, then I'll say, you know, then I'll ask them for Facebook info, kind of as a fallback. Like, if I can kind of tell that they don't feel comfortable giving me their number, I don't feel comfortable asking for it, then I'll just say, oh, hey, are you on Facebook? Here's my info, or let me follow you, and I'll just whip out my phone. And usually once your phone is out, they're not going to be like, no, I'm not going to give you my Facebook info. They'll say, oh, I don't have a Facebook, which 99% of the time is a lie. And then you know that that's just somebody who's not, you know, meant to be in your community. All right, so let's try and stay on track. It's just like 1 more minute. Tomorrow, does 12 o'clock still work for everybody? Is that a good time? Good?
Yep.
All right, and then tomorrow, let's talk a little bit about, let's talk a little bit about the 5-day Eat Clean challenges and kind of what's been working and tips and tricks and that kind of thing. Has everybody done at least one? Yeah. Okay. I know
Yeah.
Tiffany's done a ton. So, all right. So we'll just come prepared to kind of share your experience. 2 wins, and then maybe 1 thing that didn't go so great. And then we can kind of help each other troubleshoot. So thanks, guys.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you, Marisol.
No problem. And then Sean, if you either want to send me that file, or if you can upload it somewhere, the recording,
Right.
just let me know. We can coordinate that offline.
What?
All right, guys.